Welcome everybody, welcome. Wow, thank you. Welcome to EMTV. I am your host, Dr. Daniel Holler. We have quite a show for you today. Let's get on with the news. TPA haters, the new ASAP clinical policy for administration of TPA and ischemic stroke are here, hot off the presses. And let me tell you, I can feel the hatred coming at me through this camera right now. Really, nothing's changed. Considering the risk of a intracranial hemorrhage has moved to now a level B recommendation. So I guess we just might want to kind of consider that. TPA may be given, the wording of that has changed to should be offered and may be given. Level B recommendation of 3 to 4.5 hours from the time of onset has remained unchanged, that coming from ECAS 3. And a new Level C recommendation of shared decision making when feasible has been added. Whatever when feasible means. A new study in JAMA Surgery reports that erythromycin improves stomach clearance in non-traumatic emergent surgeries. Think your appendectomies, cholecystectomies. The study showed that 3.4 times greater likelihood of having stomach clearance after giving erythromycin after 6 hours. So if you want your stomach minty clean, take some erythromycin. I just made that up. From the New England Journal of Medicine, a new ongoing study, Reverse Ad, shows that there is a new Pradaxa reversal agent, idarucizumab. It's been shown to be only 5 billion times more expensive than vitamin K. That is the news. Let's get on with the rest of the show.
So I'm Jim Fichtel. This is Clay Smith. He clearly has a dislocated shoulder, right shoulder, and since we covered the Ferris technique last week on keeping up, we're going to actually do a little video on how they did it. The Ferris technique, basically keep the arm fully extended, hold their hand, form in a neutral position, and without any medicine or sedation, just kind of start these oscillating movements about 5 centimeters up and down, and slowly kind of abduct the arm. Just keep going. I like to talk to people about their family. They're into sports, hunting, even though I'm not a hunter, politics, religion, all those taboo topics to get them off the fact that their shoulder's dislocated. And you're just slowly kind of abducting the arm out, creating these oscillating movements, kind of every 5 centimeters up and down. You have a little bit of traction on. Once you get up to about 90 degrees, you then do a little bit of external rotation and keep abducting. As you come up to about 120 degrees of abduction, that's kind of the point where they got the when the glenohumeral joint reduced. Right about here. He's in like Flint. All right, and then you just kind of put the arm back down across the chest. Now, some of the other techniques that we've had, and it was even discussed in the paper, they compared it to the Coker method. The Coker method, he was a surgeon. He described it in the early 1900s. It's actually been around for about 3,000 years. It's actually in on an Egyptian tomb, in case you're interested in that. So, it had images showing it, because I'm full of useless facts. So it starts technically with external rotation. So an external rotation itself can be a reduction technique. Keep the arm fully adducted, elbow flexed at 90 degrees, and slowly externally rotate the arm. then when you meet resistance, you can do two things. You can add scapular manipulation, which is where you take the tip of the scapula and push it medially. You can use that with any reduction technique for that. And it's basically taking that tip and pushing it medially, and that rotates the glenoid fossa for you. Or you can do the kind of as Coker described, is then take the arm, you flex in the sagittal plane, and then you internally rotate the arm like this. So the Coker method again, externally rotate, flex, and internally rotate. I'm not as big a fan of the Coker method because you lever it against the acromion on that. It seems a little traumatic to me. So I don't generally do that if I'm not sedating someone. A couple other techniques that have been described more recently is called the Spazo technique. It's really good if you're on the field, like an athletic event, or if you're out in the wilderness and someone dislocates your shoulder, because you're laying down on the ground, and it's easy to do this on the ground with someone. You basically forward flex the arm to 90 degrees, and you fully externally rotate, and then you pull traction, longitudinal traction, while you're holding counter traction. You can use your leg, or you can use your foot to kind of hold down traction, just hold gently downward traction, and just pull traction up like this, and it works fairly well.
Got a slow and easy and fatigue those deltoids.
Slow and easy is how the turtle won the race. That's how the shoulder goes back in. The most common method that you see is the traction counter traction. That's simply, basically you have a sheet ramp this way, someone's pulling that direction through the axilla, you're kind of pulling axial traction here. I won't pull them off the table. You can also internally and externally rotate. When I do this, actually I like to hold the arm in kind of a figure eight, because that way it's easier to externally rotate, internally rotate, and I can pull a lot of traction through his elbow. Now, if you can even abduct all the way out, and once you get up to this position, it's kind of melding between that and the milch, and even the end result of the fares. There's a lot of overlap between these reduction techniques on this. Now, lastly, if external rotation doesn't work and scapular manipulation, spazos, or the fares, what I do, especially if I'm working by myself, I flip them over and do Stinson's technique. Go ahead and flip on over for me, bud. And this basically is, the arm is hanging off the side, you just hang weights. So I start with 10 pounds, I go see another patient, I come back, I put 5 more pounds on, I go see another patient, come back, put 5 pounds on, come back, see another patient, and come back and see him. And after about 20 pounds, you can either just add just a little bit of gentle tug downward traction, and that will reduce it, or you can push the tip of his scapula medially, and that will help as well. Now there is a modified Stinson's where you flex the elbow, flex like this, and what that does, it removes tension off the biceps tendon, which is a primary stabilizer of the glenohumeral joint. So that's why the flexion of the elbow helps, and that sometimes will help you get it back in. But generally I found just by hanging weight, a little bit of scapular manipulation, it comes back in. And those are kind of the basic techniques that we do for shoulders.
Thanks, Jim.
Which one's your favorite technique to do?
Now it's the fares. I did it actually a couple of days ago on an autistic patient. No sedation, no analgesia, and within about 2 minutes I had the shoulder back in.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was better than cats. I'm going to do it again and again.
Good. I like. I'm going to use the fares. I also like external rotation with scapular manipulation. I like the Spazo technique, and then flip them over. I'm too old to be pulling and sweating so much with traction counter traction.
A little comment on the Hippocratic method. So the way they described it in the paper is not technically correct, is it?
The Hippocratic method actually is the medieval of all techniques, the most medieval, and that basically your foot is in their axilla, and you're pulling your own traction through your foot. And you have someone else on the arm with a band that's pulling this way, guaranteed to rip out their brachial plexus. That's the true Hippocratic method. They describe it more as a traction counter traction in the paper.
Thanks for that clarification, Jim.
Probably just want to keep it right if you want to keep your old eponyms correct.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, hope this has been helpful for you.
Yeah.
And
yeah. Enjoy. Just let us know if you have any comments.